what I was trying to say. Essentially, what is more important? Feeding myself through giving into capitalism, maybe choosing between two lesser evils, or trusting that if I stay true to my way, eventually I will be okay. That I will get myself out of poverty by investing in my talents and honing my skills, that will be the way to go, and that I just have to be patient. Ugh! Essentially, what I'm trying to choose right now between is one, go back to the narcissistic family that I tried to escape, that I've run away from, and finally have escaped because I am getting to be that poor. Two, be a sugar baby. Three, thug it out and hope that once again, as has been happening every month this year, that I will find a way to make rent again. I am like, I don't know. Essentially, which form of abuse would I like? Would I like financial abuse, uh, economic abuse? I don't know. Or just me abusing myself by buying too many mangoes when I should be rationing my sardines. I don't know. I did overspend on mangoes. I did. I did. I did eat my feelings in mangoes, avoiding this choice, and now we're down to the wire again. And I can't make my content just be about being a broke girl because I'm trying not to be a broke girl. So this is kind of pointless, but I didn't know what other kind of content to make, so I thought just say how you feel. But probably this draft will disappear like the last one did. The last one was so good because I was still vague, so I wasn't like blunt about like, hey, like, do I go back to a narcissistic family? I mean, they're not physically abusing me anymore. So I guess, and that is their point, is like, we're not physically abusing you anymore. So you should be fine. You should get over it. And then with being a sugar baby, before when I went to being a sugar baby, I was kind of like, I don't need love. I don't need romance. And this year I went on two dates, one with a woman, one with, well, I don't know if that was a date actually, that last one. But I definitely saw how I'm limited in my multitasking. I cannot date and sugar. It's not for me. And so I gave up sugaring because some part of me was like, oh, you know what? Maybe love is for everyone. Maybe I that is too pessimistic to think that only certain people can afford to have romantic love. But now I'm kind of going back to that thought. I think only certain people can afford to have romantic love in this society that we live in today. Because I've been working on being vague and not allowing other people to know that I've been a sugar baby so that they will still want to date me. But the reality is, F it. Like, I've been living a pretty weird, rough kind of life. And anyone who feels uncomfortable with that is going to have to just leave. And that I have to be okay with that. That is your choice. It's not even like a judgment because it's totally valid. Do what you want to do. It's weird that it's socially more acceptable for me to go back to a narcissistic family and continue to be, maybe not physically, but just verbally, psychologically abused. Great. And so here is the rub, that I am choosing to be a dog walker who sometimes acts and writes and, struggles to make ends meet. I could be being some rich person's wife or mistress or girlfriend number two for the month or this weekend. And I could be, I know some of you are like, why aren't you working? Well, had a lot of health issues. I was assaulted, and since that assault, that was physically very crippling. And although the police report was confirmed and then state said, yeah, we see that you're struggling, they were like, but we're still not giving you money. So that plus a few psychotic breaks in between, it's been hard to get out of this hole. Yeah. It's been hard to get out of this hole. And then, of course, people are very critical. Family members are critical of what I've done in the past. Lots of family members don't want to F with me because, they say there's no excuse for you to be poor. You got a degree. You shouldn't be struggling this way. And then also, you shouldn't be a sugar baby because there's no need. Again, you have a degree and whatnot. My degree is in theater, and theater requires you to be physical. And yes, I've just recently gotten back into theater, but yes, it's actually quite exhausting, and I'm not even working as hard as I would normally work if I was working in theater. Such a long story. And I know some of you are like, excuses, excuses, excuses. You should be able to figure this thing out. If I could have a moment of breath. I did. I won $1,000 earlier this year, so that should have been my moment of breath. $1,000 in New York City actually goes by pretty quickly. And then if it would have to have been that nothing else dramatic happened, but one of my dog clients died, and that was enough to throw off my groove. There's no real point to my rant. I don't know how we got here, except that I thought maybe by the end of this video I would figure out what I'm gonna do. Am I going to go back to the narcissistic family? Am I going to become a sugar baby again? Or am I going to hope for the best and let myself be homeless on the streets and let's see what that looks like? I don't know. I don't know. I just need a job that pays a livable wage, but that is also accommodating of my health and physical and mental health conditions. Part of that is difficult because my conditions aren't really recognized as being that big of a deal. And part of my diagnosis isn't really like, well, yeah, people don't really care about IBS or GERD or ADHD or PTSD or CPTSD or autism or what is the other things? OCD. What is it? And then there's something unexplained about some of my symptoms. A lot of people are just like, oh, it's just all in your head. So, with it being all in my head, there's no need for me to be helped. And now I'm going back into my self pity hole. Shit. I forgot also BPD. I'm a pariah. I remember I made a video last time. I made a video like admitting that I was BPD. The person was very in the comment section very devastated by that, very horrified because I ran them with their ex who was abusive. Since healing from my BPD, I've become a worse sugar baby. I'm not as manipulative. It's crazy. The way our society works is it discourages healing. It encourages people who are manipulative and cruel and ruthless. And I have been ruthless before. I just don't have the energy to be that anymore. Frick. But if I was that, I would still lose people from, having very antisocial behaviors. Oh, comment below what you think I should do.